Hi everyone. So for the homework that you have submitted last week, I'm gonna explain it in this video for the worksheet from page 26 to 29. So first, from 26 to 27 on your textbook is actually talking about some basic concept about flooding. So when will it occur? So you could see the diagram either on the book or on this worksheet. So when the first one, the answer is heavy. When very heavy rainfall happens, it will makes the river to become very full. What does it mean by full? The water level of the river channel. So this should be the normal water level of the river. While when the water level here becomes higher than the river bank at the two sides, okay, this will happen. The river water, that means the water here, they will flow over the banks and spread out on the surrounding land. So maybe here or maybe here. So this is what we call flooding. So this is the basic definition of the flooding. And where will flooding usually occur? So flooding will usually occur in the low-lying area, 低洼地區. For instance, the coastal flatland, 沿岸嘅一啲平地啦，因為沿岸嘅山就好似山邊啦，咁如果佢係高地嘅話呢，咁佢就冇咁容易有呢一個 flooding 啦。And the river basins, 河盤啦，河盤嘅意思即係呢一啲河嘅附近嘅一個位置啦。So the river basin means the area surrounded near the river or its tributaries. So the places that might happen flooding are usually at the lower course of a river. For instance, somewhere like here, okay, the lower course of the river, So for instance, on your book 27, you could see some example like here, Fujian, Guangdong area here, and maybe Hainan. So all these are the lower course or the low-lying area of the river. So for the true-false questions, so I have checked the students that you have handed in your homework, okay, before 4 p.m. on Friday. So when I read and check those students who have handed in the homework, the biggest problem is in here, the true-false part. So I will explain it. The first one, okay, most of you got it right. Flooding results in only crop failure, which is wrong. So flooding could kill people. Flooding could kill the animals, okay, not only for the crop failure. So you may refer back to your textbook on page 28. So there are a few examples. Flooding could also damage the road as well. So not only about the crop failure. So this is false. Number two, the flooding could be a positive influence on agriculture. Okay, this is correct. So some of you write false for these questions. Flooding actually, if the flooding is not in a big scale, the places that are flooded by the flood water might become something called alluvium. Alluvium soil may be made. 沖積土啦, so you could refer back to page 28. Want to know more, the pink box. So this is true. Number three, flood water removes salt from the soil. So this is true. Maybe some of you will mix up the concept with the over-irrigation water in the last unit that we mentioned in the first term. But here, again, you can refer back to page 28. On the pink box, it mentioned soil in some areas is salty. It is very difficult to grow crops on such land. Flood water dissolves and removes the salt from the soil, so this helped farming too. That means the flood water, they could be large enough to dissolve, okay, not only bring the soil to the top, but they could dissolve the soil and brings it away from the soil, not only left on the soil. So that's why this is true. It could remove the soil from the salt from the soil. And number 4, alluvium is not the type of sediment brought by floodwater. Of course, it's false. Okay, some of you said it's true. It is actually a type of the sediment brought by the floodwater. So that is also mentioned on the pink box. On the second line, this is because floodwater may bring sediment known as alluvium. And for number 5, flooding does not affect humans but only livestock. Okay, this is of course wrong. Not only livestock and human will be affected. So for the 7 harmful effects on the flooding that you have to identify from the picture here, you don't need to write it in order, but here I would explain the harmful effects to you one by one. So first of all, this is very obvious, the loss of life and injuries. So this people is drowned by the water. And second, you can see this guy is vomiting. So very obviously there are some disease. So spreading the disease might be the harmful effect as well. And here you could see the crops. Okay, they are washed to the river and being drowned. So this is the crop failure. And you can see the train. Okay, the rail is being broken. That means the transport services are being disrupted. And you could see here some power pipes, some power lines. For instance, the gas and electricity supplies, they are also being disrupted. This is what we call the utility services. Utility services. So you could also find it on page 28 in the green box, figure 3. So utility services means the 公用嘅一啲服務啦. And number 6, you can see the houses, the roads, the buildings, the cars are being drowned. So the damaging the buildings, the roads, rail lines, bridges, and the engineered structures means 建築物啦, engineered structures. So it's also one of the harmful effects of the flooding. And of course, number 7, kind of related to number 1 and number 2. The water are being polluted, especially the drinking water. So the water is not safe anymore. So if you drink the water, you might got the disease or you might even lose your life. So the major problem in this part is some of you got some minor spelling mistakes. So be careful for some difficult words. And for example, the failure, okay, the disease, injuries, so disrupt. So you need to know how to spell the words. So in the exam, we might not provide the vocab for you. So this is all about your worksheet, page 26 to 29 for chapter 4.4. So remember to also use a green pen to take your answer. So if your answer is not correct, please write the correct answer next to the spaces. If you have any questions, you can email me or you can circle it and ask me when the school is resumed. Thank you.